Yes, that's in the Platform Sutra, and it actually addresses an issue that came up. I was giving a talk in Palma in Spain the other day, and someone asked the question, this world is so complicated, and it's more complicated than ever now. And right now in this country, we're experiencing that, as Jennifer pointed out. So she said, how can a simple mind understand something as complicated as this world? Don't we need a multifaceted, very busy mind in order to engage with the world as it is? So a simple mind is a mind that's uncluttered, perfectly clear. So that's the mind that's clear like space. And that's an expression that Zen Master Sung San used a lot. Not clear as space, but clear like space. He would also go on to say, clear like space, clear like a mirror. So Jennifer was referring to that. Red comes, white comes, white. Someone is hungry, give them food. Someone is thirsty, give them drink. So our reaction, our actions in response to whatever appears in this perfectly clear, large mind, our actions are very precise. And this is very simple. When someone is hungry, well, of course, yeah, you give them food. So the response meets the need at all times. So our minds have to be very meticulous. That's what the needle is referring to. Maybe we're supposed to think of needle point or some such work, craft, or maybe simply the image of a needle, which comes to a single sharp point. So our minds have to be both very large, but one-pointed, not large and vague, wandering all over the place, but large and very meticulous, moment to moment. So I think that's what the teaching is there in the Platform Sutra. Thank you. Yeah, so maybe he has a troubled emotional state or reaction to people. But if, in spite of that, he still helps everyone, yeah, and he's a bodhisattva. So it doesn't matter what you feel, it's what you do. Usually our feelings control our actions. Sometimes that works out well. We may have feelings of love and compassion to someone, and so, yeah, we're very good to that person. That's natural. But if we have very negative feelings about someone, well, first of all, we should really look at those negative feelings. What is really there? No matter how we deal with the feelings, we cannot let them control our actions. So our actions have to be based always on great love, great compassion. So this is the Christian teaching, love your enemies. Meaning you don't have to feel love for your enemies, but you have to act that way. Well, we only use one mudra in our Zen meditation style, and of course, that's this mudra, not held up here, of course. Your wrists should be resting on your thighs, and this circle, actually frames your tangen, the point about 2 inches below your navel. Tangen is energy garden. So keep the energy down low. If your energy is always up here, it's called like a fire in the head, and you're liable to do anything. If your energy is here, maybe just always emotional, maybe sometimes good emotion, sometimes bad emotion. So we try to keep our energy down low. then our center is very strong, and we cannot easily be thrown off balance. So having this mudra encircle the center of gravity, the energy center, you know, of our system, is very reinforcing. It actually really strengthens the practice. So sometimes in other traditions, there's, sort of, I don't know if you can, this sort of mudra with your wrists, back of your wrist, resting on your knees. And I've never quite understood what the energy system is there. Does the energy flow down your arms around this little loop and come back? Or does it flow out through the fingers? I've never seen any explanation of that. But we never use that. So we have two mudras, This is how we are when we chant. We're really coming together. And when we sit, our center is very strong. So those are our two mudras. Thank you. Zen Master Sung-san, when he was giving instructions for beginners, always said, first, your posture is very erect, your center is very strong. And you breathe in for 3 seconds, and breathe out for 7 seconds. So the exhalation is twice as long as the inhalation. And that's a ratio that you find in yogic breathing. So pranayama, prana is breath, and yama is control. So pranayama is breath control. I personally think that the breath is extremely important in meditation. It's certainly central to my meditation practice. So I'll describe that briefly, and if any of you want more detailed instruction, please call me or write me, and I'll be glad to do that. I actually do my breathing practice in coordination with our Kwansei and Bosal chant, which we were chanting at the beginning. There are 32 beats in Kwansei and Bosal in that melody, in one round. So I breathe in for 4 beats, breathing in very completely. The stomach actually expands, so the diaphragm is fully engaged, and then the second 4 beats, the rib cage expands. And then hold that breath for 4 beats. And then exhale very slowly, very gradually, sometimes steady, sometimes in what's called bamboo breathing, that is in segments. But it's for 16 counts. So maybe in 4 count segments, or maybe continuously for 16 counts. That brings us up to 28. And then hold the breath out for 4 counts. And this takes about a half minute. But if you build up gradually to whatever capacity you have, and you simply adjust the tempo of the chant to match your capacity. So maybe you do it in 16 seconds, and most people can manage to do that from the beginning. Or whatever however you have to adjust the tempo. So this breathing really strengthens the center. You really feel it down by your tangen on the first part of the inhalation. And then all during the exhalation, you're gradually contracting, 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 and that also has a strengthening effect. And as you contract, you are straightening your posture. You kind of feel the curve in the lower part of the spine being reestablished. So that's how I do breathing practice. I think most Zen teachers would agree that some close attention to the breath is a good thing in Zen meditation. Pay attention to the breath. And if you have a mudra, what am I, don't know, a phrase you repeat, that can be done in coordination with the breath. Going back to Zen Master Sung-san, you say, breathe in, what am I, 3 seconds, don't know, 7 seconds. And that's a good way to start. So thank you, Jennifer. I think it's about time, maybe time for one more question if there is one. So thank you all for coming. And these very complicated times. We thought it was complicated before, and now we have this. So this has always been the human condition. Zen Master Sung San used to say, human beings are #1 bad animal. Always doing things like this from the beginning of recorded time. So this is what faces us, and this is what we have to respond to as Zen practitioners. And the best basic response is compassion for everyone. Kwan Sambo. So thank you.